Yes.
Shall we start our session today?
Proceed.
Okay, I've got a thumbs up from them, so I guess let's start. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here today as we gather together to explore the importance of setting self-care goals in our daily lives. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Lakshmi Menon. I'm from India, Bangalore. Originally a Malayali from Bangalore. I am currently working as a business development manager in a defense contracting firm in Dubai. And my experience has been very closely related to yours because I was working as a flight attendant before for Qatar Airways. I think we should begin now. Alright, so how many of you all feel exhausted and tired after your work or during your work? That's it?
After work.
During work too?
During work, yes.
Also, sometimes. Just sometimes? Do you all get enough sleep at night? No? Okay. But I believe that in the hospitality industry, it is very difficult to manage your sleep sometimes because your circadian rhythm plays a very different role here. You're working your day shifts, you're working your night shifts, so it's a whole other ball game. Now, in this fast-paced world that we live in, oftentimes we forget to take care of ourselves. We do not put ourselves first. But the most important thing that we forget is that we need to love ourselves. Let me give you an example. You know what, when, just for a moment, imagine that you are on an airplane, right? And the flight attendant is delivering a safety instruction. She says, secure yourself first in case of an emergency before you try and assist others. I'm not saying this because I was a flight attendant before. I'm saying this because this is very relevant to what we are talking about right now. Why is it important to put yourself first? Let's begin. So what are these self-care goals? I would like to compare self-care goals with tending to a garden. What do we do when you tend a garden? We are trying to nourish the garden, we are trying to water the garden so that you take care of it, so that the garden thrives. The same way, our minds and bodies work exactly the same way. What we do is, whatever we put on ourselves, we work towards it, and that's the most important thing, right? Now, self-care goals are actions or practices that are majorly aimed at your physical health, your mental health, your emotional well-being, and your spiritual well-being. And why do we do that? Because we need to create balance in our daily life. We need to bring in some joy and fulfillment in our daily life. Oh, did I turn it off? Okay. Now, what are the importance of setting relevant self-care goals, right? Setting self-care goals is one thing, but setting relevant self-care goals is a whole other ballgame. Now, the first thing that we need to keep in mind is clarity. When we set our self-care goals, we oftentimes forget to bring in the most important things in our goal book, right? Do you all have a goal book or a manifestation book, or do any of you journal?
Yes.
Yes? Amazing. That's one thing that we will definitely talk about further. Now, bringing in clarity to your self-care goals is very, very important. You need to make sure that you are able to adjust your actions along with the things that brings you joy and happiness. The next thing is motivation. In this world that we live in, it is so busy and fast-paced that we oftentimes feel very demotivated when we see a little change or a small little adversity, right? So how are we going to set these relevant self-care goals which can actually bring us some motivation in our life? Next thing is focus, something that sometimes we lack. So focusing on your self-care goals is also a very important thing. Sometimes if you need to change certain things when you set your goals, you tend to change the focus. So if you don't stay focused, you're going to face problems when you set your self-care goals. Next thing is accountability. What you do, what actions you take are the actions that you are accountable for. Now I'm here right now, and let's say that I have set a goal that I'm going to go to the gym every day at 9 o'clock in the night, right? I get out of this podium and I'm on my way back home, and I get a call from a friend. Hey, come, let's go have a drink. Now, what are my choices that I make is what I'm accountable for. Most probably, I'll choose to go have that drink. I don't want to lie. Right. But who is actually accountable for it is me. Right? Nobody else. I cannot blame my friend for it. I cannot say that, oh, you know what, she forced me to come and have a drink with her and that's why I went to go get a drink. That's not how it works. I'm accountable for my actions. So make sure that when you're setting up your self-care goals, you know that you're accountable for the actions that you take and it's your choice. Next thing, progress. Now this is basically tracking your self-care goals. Where have you reached? Last year, where were you at? And this year, how far have you come? This is also something that we oftentimes don't do, right? When we set our goals, we don't really go back and look at it and say, oh, I've come this far and I'm so proud of myself. We don't do that because we sort of forget about everything and we are always complaining about life. Oh, life is not good, nothing is great. This is the mindset that we are always in. But just imagine if you could change that. When you set your relevant self-care goals, you can track your own progress. How far have you come? How grateful are you for where you're at right now? All of you working in Oberoi Hotels, which is a very big group, hospitality industry. Are you all proud of yourselves?
Yes.
Yes? Very good. That's something that I want to listen to, right? So, when you set your relevant self-care goals, you'll be able to track your progress. Next thing, resilience. This is one of my favorite things, to be honest, because this is something that most of us sort of have trouble following. So when I say that you set your goals, we all set goals. Probably we don't write our goals down, but we have our goals in our mind, in our head. Oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. Let's say that, let's give an example, right? You decide that you're going to read a book every night before you go to sleep for 10 minutes. You decide it, you probably do it, but you might not actually follow through it. And this is something that we all go through. We are unable to follow through the goals that we set. And that's a little sad. And today's session should bring about at least 1% of change in each one of you. I'm not expecting, see, these are things that you all already know, right? It's not something that's super new to all of you. But this is just a quick reminder of how you're going to change your life when you set relevant self-care goals. Next, how to set self-care goals effectively. I want you all to repeat after me. Self-care isn't selfish.
Self-care is not selfish.
Can it be a little louder?
Self-care isn't selfish.
Can I hear it from you?
Self-care is
Self-care isn't selfish. Now, probably you all set goals, but we forget to set goals to put yourself first, right? Assess your current self-care practice. Now, if you're somebody who has never set goals, try to identify what are the things that you really need in order to set your goals. What is it that actually brings you joy in your life? And if you're somebody who already has set a couple of self-care goals for yourself, try to figure out how you're going to change it around, bring in some new activities or things that actually makes it fun and joyful for you all. Right. Next, set specific and measurable goals. Now, after you leave this room, you'll probably go and you'll be like, okay, you'll vaguely decide that, okay, from today I'm going to practice self-care. But that's not enough. You need to be very specific about what is it that you actually want to take care of about yourself. Be specific. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym once a week. Or no, I don't think that works. I'm going to go to the gym like 3 times a week, right? Or let's say that you say that I am going to attend a Toastmaster session, probably twice in a month. This is something that you need to keep in your mind throughout. Be specific about what goal you want to set and then follow through it. Next thing, focus on holistic self-care. Now, in this modern world that we live in, we almost all the time forget to take care of our mental health. And mental health is one of the most important things, especially in an industry like hospitality. I see you smile. Don't you agree with me? Don't you agree with me? Isn't mental health something that's really important? Very important. So, in order to do this, you need to follow some holistic ways to self-care, okay? Let's say that listening to music is something that's going to calm you down. Let's say that putting on some music and moving a little bit is something that's going to calm you down, right? Follow what makes you happy and what gives you joy and fulfillment. Next thing, prioritize self-care activities that brings you joy. Same thing. Start small and build momentum. Now this is something I follow myself, and I also ask all of my friends and family members to do. If you're somebody who hasn't really set self-care goals before, start small. Do little things. I like giving the example of reading books, even though I'm not somebody who actually reads that, to be honest. But let's say that you decide on reading a book for 15 minutes every night, right? You start small. You start reading your book every night before going to sleep, no matter what. Now, 1 week passes by, 2 weeks pass by, you're following through it very well. And then comes a time where you decide, okay, you know what, I think I want to read a little more. So you start small and then you move on to reading more and more and more. But probably then you go on to reading for half an hour. This is just an example, but there are different things that you can do that brings you joy, right? That's something that you need to choose for yourself. Tell me something that truly brings you joy in terms of self-care.
Working out in the morning.
Working out in the morning. Very nice. That's something I was actually coming to. I will come by that point later. But yes, so the same way, probably he's working out in the morning, let's say half an hour, 1 hour?
Yeah. 15 to 30 minutes.
15 to 30
When I
minutes.
have time, you don't know.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. When you start setting your goals, you start setting those goals in a small way and then follow through it, and as time passes by, you move forward and set bigger, better goals for yourself. Starting small. Okay, I'm going to save 50 dirhams every month. That's not a lot, but it's still difficult to save that money, right? If it happens so, and you're actually following through it, then you're going to go forward and then start saving 100, then 200 and 300 and as much as you want to. Probably 2,000 at some point. Again, not that simple and easy, especially in Dubai, I'd say. Next thing, incorporate self-care into your routine. Now, I know that routine is something that we generally follow through. Every day you do something, you come to work, you go back, you have your routine of cooking your dinner and then going to sleep. Or like meeting your friend, cooking your dinner, going to sleep. But what sort of self-care do you actually incorporate in your routine? Can can you tell me something that you do that makes you happy?
Like meeting the guest, happy guest, makes me
After work.
after work.
Yeah.
Okay, meeting with my family, going at home, meeting with the family, makes me.
So you are still connecting your happiness to somebody else. But now we are talking about taking care of yourself. What is that one activity that you want to do all by yourself without having to do it with anybody else?
Doing
right?
yoga.
Pardon?
Doing yoga.
Playing dance?
No, like going to the news.
Okay, okay, yeah. If going through news is something that's therapeutic to you, that would be it, right? So it's very.
Whole day summary of what's happening.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes I like doing that too because you know, as I was growing up, my family used to always tell me, okay, read the newspaper. You need to know what's going on around the world, and it was so complicated. But then as time passed by, now I just have pop-ups or like on Instagram I have college times and follow them, and then like everything pops up, and now I'm like super updated about life in general. So that can be therapeutic, I agree, right? That's one thing that he does. So the same way we all need to make sure that we follow self-care in our routine. One thing that I personally love doing is skincare. That's sort of therapeutic for me, right? When I go back home, I like taking that warm bath and then just exfoliating my skin or following the entire skincare procedure. Meditation. Do you actually do it? He's like, this is self-care session, so I need to talk about meditation. But that's a very good point too, and that's something that all of us need to incorporate in our life. I'm not saying be one of those people who sit down and meditate for 1 hour and do yoga sessions for 1 hour. No, just take out 2 minutes of your time every day. Close your eyes and just think to yourself, acknowledge and be grateful for the life that you have right now, right? These are little things that we actually forget to do every day. We are so busy working. Hospitality industry, oh my God. Customer service, not easy. Every day you deal with customers, every day you have varieties of customers every day. Okay, wait, we are just talking about customers? No, let's talk about each other. We have 32 nationalities working in this hotel, am I right? Or more, probably. Is it really easy to work with each other? No, it's challenging. It's not always easy. I know this because I was working in a hospitality industry. I was working in a flight. Every day I'm flying with new set of people. Every day I'm flying with different nationalities. It's not easy to cope with it. Right? This is exactly why you need to incorporate self-care routine in your daily life. Next thing, regularly evaluate and adjust. Now, when you set some goals sometimes, what you tend to do is, one day if the goal doesn't happen, 5 days you go through your goals very well, perfectly. You decide to wake up every day at 7 o'clock in the morning and you're like, oh yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning, every day I'm going to wake up, no matter what. You do that. And then, what happens? One day, you wake up at 7:30. And that's not it. When that 7:30 happens, then the next day, you actually don't go back to waking up at 7 o'clock. You're like, okay, leave it. I don't think it's my piece of cake. Don't you all do that?
Yeah.
Yes. So make sure that you evaluate, you adjust the changes that you need to make. And one day if you're not able to follow through it, don't just give up. Be resilient. Be persistent. Make sure that you're able to follow through. Next thing. Practicing self-care at work. Now this is something that I know is probably what you actually want to know about. How do you practice self-care at work, especially in a bustling environment like hospitality? Can I have all of you stand up for a second? Okay. Show me, yes. Show me any of your best moves or stretches that you do at your desk or wherever possible. This, like that, just the sleepy stretch. Can I see something very cool? Do you like do that? What is that? Do you all do something? Oh, you're gonna dab? Okay, I want you all to stretch right now because I know some of you all are sleepy. Okay, jump. Okay, do this. Okay, do this. I'm just kidding. Okay, sit down, sit down. Try to take regular breaks at your work. Whatever that means to you, right? I'm not promoting smoking, but if smoking is something that gives you peace of mind, be it. Walking is something that gives you peace of mind, be it. Talking to your co-worker who is close to you, that could be one of your things, right? Those are different ways that you can set your goals. Take breaks in between your work. Do not forget to do that because I know that sometimes we take in way too much, way more than what we should actually take in. I'm talking individually. I'm not talking about each different department because this is something that all of you all go through. Don't you all agree with me?
Now everybody will remember this point.
Yes.
And forget all the training.
I'm sure they'll not forget the chicken dance. Okay, so remember this point. Make sure that you set boundaries. Don't forget to say no. Okay, now please don't blame me if somebody is telling you no, I cannot do that work. But all I'm trying to say is know your boundaries. Set your boundaries. Know when to say no. Know if you're overworking. Or even better than that, don't really say no. Because sometimes when you're dealing with customers, you cannot say no. You just have to deal with them, right? But what are you going to do after? If you're dealing with your co-workers and you feel like you're taking on too much or that person's putting a lot of pressure, like, you know, this is a lot of work, I'm not able to do it and this and that, happens, right, to all of us. But how are you going to figure out how to finish that task? Probably you're the one who should be finishing that task, but it's just too much to take in at some point. That's when you need to set boundaries. If you cannot say no to the work because it's your duty, then all you need to do is sit down, tell them, please give me some time, I'm going to finish this up, take that little break that you need to take, drink your herbal tea if that's what makes you happy, come back and resume your duties. But don't just take on too many things at once. And this is a humble advice from somebody who has worked in hospitality, trying to tell you what you should do. Because I know sometimes it can get truly difficult. Now, what is practicing mindfulness? I'm going to make you all do an exercise, but I really hope you all don't fall asleep. Okay. All of you close your eyes. Okay. Close your eyes. Okay. Both eyes. Yeah. Okay. Now, take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Open your eyes. Okay? Look around. Look around. What do you see? What do you see around? What do you see around? Anything. Oh, okay. What else? Tell me like 2 more things.
Happy faces.
Happy faces.
Somebody is tired as well, but I don't want to highlight. That's okay.
Okay.
You can understand.
Yeah, I understand.
Depends on which department you're working in.
Okay, depends on what department you're working in. Okay, I'll talk to you after the session. Right. Now, close your eyes again. Open your hearing senses. What do you hear? What else do you hear? Do I have a soothing voice? Okay. Now, what do you smell? Nothing? Nothing? Should I come closer to you all so you can smell the nice perfume that I have on? Okay. So we are done with our eyes, nose, ears. Now I want you to feel yourself. Touch. Yeah. Open your eyes now. What just happened? All of you are clueless. What happened? Nothing happened. We were trying to play the mindfulness game. Probably was a failure, but that's okay. The most important thing that I was trying to tell you here is that practicing mindfulness is very important. On a day-to-day basis, if you do not acknowledge what you're going through, stop judging. Look at things, stop judging is probably, you're giving me that look like, how is that possible? No, I'm not saying stop judging, but observe how you judge things. The moment you start acknowledging what is going through on a day-to-day basis, are you okay? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. I thought she was crying. Okay, cool. Alright. So, when you acknowledge what you're going through, what you're feeling, that's when you're able to improve yourself and take care of yourself. Put yourself first. That's the most important thing, right? Next, foster positive relationships. Be that between your co-workers, be that with your family, be that with your boyfriend, girlfriend, so many things going on every day. A lot of negative things or things that we take on as negativity is something that we need to try and get rid of. I know it's not that simple because there are a lot of things happening on a daily basis in different ways and forms which affects you mentally, physically, emotionally, in all sorts of ways. Try to foster positive relationships because if you do not build those happy relationships with your co-workers, especially now that we're talking about work, you're going to have a really tough time working with each other. And that's actually not just going to affect work, it's going to affect your mental health. It is directly connected to your mental health. Next, delegate and ask for help. This is another thing that we either forget to follow at times when we are overworked or we're scared to ask for help. And that's really important. Start asking for help. If there is something that you need help with, ask for help. If you are on a managerial level, if it's important for you to delegate tasks, do that. Even if you're with a co-worker, ask them to help you out with something if there is too much on in your space, right? Next thing, celebrate accomplishments. This is something that honestly I enjoy doing. So every time I set a goal, I celebrate it. Be that a big win or a small win. Now I'm standing here, I am presenting self-care goals to all of you. But my plan after this is to celebrate this win. Maybe it's a small win, maybe it's a big win, but I'm still going to celebrate it. And when you celebrate wins, you are looking forward to doing more things. And I'm not always saying that spend money to celebrate your win. There are many different ways to celebrate your wins, right? Next, disconnect from technology. If you're somebody who is working in front of a desktop day in and day out, make sure that you take those little breaks, walk out, or let's say that you all are having lunch with your co-workers, right? So the most important thing that you need to do is keep your phones aside for some time. Forget about anything technological, because that's something that's basically eating up our mental health. Day in and day out, throughout, we are looking into our phones. And that's not a good thing. Not mentally, and honestly, not even physically. Tips on setting mini self-care goals. Like I said, start small and then go on to doing something big, right? How are you going to do it? First thing, identify your passion. What is it that you enjoy doing? So what is it that you enjoy doing
In the workplace,
in the workplace?
I'm happy to guest host for any situation.
Okay.
Especially going somewhere with the guests.
You're happy going somewhere with the kids.
And like a shopper.
Shop. Oh, okay, that's very nice. Oh, you know, I work very closely with limousine and chauffeur services, by the way. Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. But when you try and set your goals, even if that is personally, the most important thing is to think outside the box. Don't just think of doing something for 2 minutes and then, okay, I'm done. Okay, my goal is to just drink this tea and just be happy. No, that's not it. You need to think outside the box and bring in some variety when you're setting your goals. Next, make them time bound and self-discovery first. What is making them time bound? When you set your goals, if you don't set a time frame to it, then that goal sort of becomes not so effective. So it's very important to make sure that you have a timeline when you set your goal. So when you're tracking your progress, you will know exactly how many months later you're going to go back and look at that goal and be like, oh, okay, fine, I've come this far. Maybe you're setting your goals for 1 month ahead. But if you're just not setting any time for it, okay, someday I'm going to buy a house. Someday I'll buy a car. I'm pretty sure about it. You're very confident that you'll do it. But when? If you're not going to set a timeline, how are you going to know when you're going to do it? You'll probably not even work towards it. You're going to forget about your goals by the time you get there. Because you're so busy doing so many other things in life. Next, self-discovery first. The most important thing when you set your goals is to understand who you are in person. What is it that you like? What is it that you hate? What is that one thing that makes you the happiest? You need to know what brings joy and what brings unhappiness. And when you understand who you truly are and understand yourself well, then you will be able to set the right kind of goals for yourself. Next thing, customize your goals based on your needs. Let's say that you're setting goals and your needs are completely different from the goals that you're setting. Then it's never going to come into life, right? So it's very, very important to make sure that you customize your goals based on what you want and what you need. Because if you're working towards something that you don't enjoy, you're never going to attain those goals in your life. Next, embrace self-compassion. Self-love and self-compassion is something that we are talking about today. So the most important thing is show yourself some love. Show yourself some compassion. Show yourself some care. Oh, by the way, I was walking around by this corridor, and I noticed a lot of different boards around, right? So it said care, compassion, what else? Huh? Determination, passion, so many things, so many beautiful words. But I'm pretty sure those are things that you all were planning to do for your guests. Those are things that are highlighted there that you are going to deliver to your customers. But are you all actually practicing that for yourself? Are you all doing it? Yeah? You love yourself? 100?
More than anybody else.
Love it. That's what I want to hear. Love yourself more than anybody else in the world. You are the most important person in this world. Be grateful for the life that you have right now. You're amazing. Say, I love me. No?
I love me.
Yes. One more time.
I love you.
I love me.
I love
With a little bit of compassion. I love me. Ah, no. Little more energetic and passionate.
I love me.
Yes, one more time.
I love me.
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 Who do you love?
Me.
Show some compassion. Okay. Unique ways to practice self-care goals. Self-care vision board. I'm sure all of you are familiar with vision boards. You might have it, you might not have it. Vision boards are nothing but boards that you create, be that in your phone or at your home with posters around it of where you want to see yourself probably in a couple of months or probably in a year. This is something, I don't know if you all follow it, but if you don't, start following it. But a lot of people forget to follow self-care vision board. They don't really put yoga picture. They don't really put pictures of relaxing or massage or spa. No. We always put house, dollars, car. All of these things are in our vision board. Always. I have it too. In fact, you know what? I actually have a vision board of me doing this. Yeah, this was my 2023 vision board and it's actually happening. And I'm not quite sure if I'm doing it the best way because this is the first time I'm doing it. But I'm trying my best. But it's coming to life. It's happening. And every day you wake up, you look at it. If you have a Pinterest collage on your phone or something like that on your lock screen, every day you look at it. What happens when you look at things that you want to do every day? You never forget that that's something that you're going to do. And every day you look at it and you're like, oh, I need to work on this. You will never forget. But self-care vision board, oftentimes we forget to take care of ourselves. And we don't really put a vision board for self-care. But I think you all must start putting a vision board for self-care because it matters. Next, self-care jar and self-care intention box. This is something I generally tell some of my friends to do it. So it's basically, let's say that if you are working around a desk, you have a jar, you put in a couple of chits, okay? Some of the activities that you enjoy doing. It could be anything, not just activities, it could also be walking, just talking to a friend, anything. And then when you're at work and you're tired and you want to take a break, remove one of the chits, open it, see what is it that you need to do when you open that. What is the activity that's written there? Is it talking to a friend? Do it. Takes about less than 2 minutes to do it. So create this intention box or a self-care jar, put in a couple of activities in there and start working towards it. Next, self-care collabs. This is something that I enjoy doing personally. I'm sure you all are co-workers, but you all have your personal favorite co-worker, your friend at work. You can practice along with your friend, right? You can, this happened to me once. I was at work and I'm generally not somebody who drinks a lot of water. Yeah, clearly not. So it's the same problem that I had at work too. I used to forget to drink water. I used to be super dehydrated. And then one of my co-workers noticed this. And she's like, hey, don't you drink any water? You're just drinking coffee throughout the day. I think it's a crude thing, but I'm not sure. But lots of coffees. Forget to drink water somehow, right? So she said, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can set reminders for you all, for you. She said, okay, I'm going to remind you every hour, because she was sitting right opposite to me. She said, I'll remind you to drink water every hour. So she became like a human reminder, and both of us started drinking water. So this way you can collaborate with your co-worker, because see, why am I saying co-worker and not family or friend or boyfriend? Because you're spending most of your time here at work, and you need that, little bit of compassion that you can show to each other, right? You're showing so much love and compassion and care to your customers. Can't you do it for yourself and to your co-workers? Of course you can, and you must. Next thing, journaling. So I think you were the only one who told that you journal here.
Sorry?
You journal, right? You said you
Yes.
journal. Is there anybody else who journals? You do? Do you do it like every night or every night? And how does that make you feel?
I overthink less.
Sorry?
I overthink less.
You overthink less. Right. It is that is basically one of the best techniques that you can use for self-care. I'll tell you why. When you go back home and you sit down with a book and you write down everything that's going on, probably you're unable to talk to your friends sometimes. There are some things you cannot always share. Probably not even with your family. Maybe you're a private person. But it's very bad to bottle up things in your heart, because that sometime is going to come out in the worst possible way, and you're going to react to others, and that's in turn going to affect your mental health. So it's very important to journal on a daily basis. There are so many different applications too which you can use in order to journal and write down your thoughts every day, what's going on, what are 3 good things that happen. Don't just journal. See, there are different journaling also. There's gratitude journal too, right? Where you're just being grateful for everything you have. So when you read it, you write it, and then just few days later you go back and you read it, you're like, oh, I was grateful for this. Maybe today I'm not, but I was, and I should still be. It gives you a reminder of what you should actually do that makes you happy. Next, evening wind down routine. So is there anything that you do in the evening after you finish your work, whatever time that is, because again, hospitality, different timelines. Is there something that you do to keep yourself active?
Walking.
Walking? You go for walks in the evening after work? Does that calm you down?
Yeah.
Good. Anything else?
Singing.
Singing? Oh. Can we hear you sing? Okay, maybe towards the end of the session, but I still want to hear you sing. Singing. For some people it could be dancing. Okay, she says shh, so there is something you do. What is it that you do? Do you dance?
No, I'm saying because I want to listen to you, so I told you.
Oh, sleepy girl. Okay, so there are different activities or things that we inculcate in our evening life. When we go back home, we need to do certain things that can calm us down because we've had a very long day at work. And not every day is a happy day, let's just be honest, right? Start following all of these different things in order to practice self-care goals. It's very important. You know, even this gratitude, do we have any digital marketing people around? Okay, you know these gratitude journals, you don't even need to pay for gratitude journals anymore. You actually can create them on your own. If you have ever used the tool Canva, you're able to, if you've used it, you know that it's very easy to create these journals and just take printouts. If it's something, if writing is something that you actually like doing, then yeah. Next, unique ways. Okay, it's the same thing. Do it yourself spa day. Do you have those?
Yes.
What do you do?
Nail,
massage,
haircut,
haircut. And how often do you do this?
once a month.
Once in a month. So is that the only day that you decide to give for yourself, to take care of yourself, or do you do
No, I do take care of myself and
every day, right? So there are different ways that you can do it. Do it yourself spa day is honestly my favorite, and I don't actually do it once a month. I sort of do this, like I would say, like in a week, like 3 or 4 times. Just light a candle, take a nice warm bath, listen to slow calming music. It's the best thing to do. And you know what, don't have people around you. I mean, not in the shower, I mean even outside. Like just take a break for yourself, you know. Next, movement exploration. I think I already got all of you to do that. You got up, you did a little bit of stretching. I saw a couple of people sleeping, so I just thought, okay, beginning of the session they're sleeping. I was supposed to do it now, but then I sort of made that happen earlier. So take those breaks in between work or even when you're at home, stretch, move your body a little bit, whatever makes you happy in that form. Digital detox. Do you all check your screen times often?
You skip love letter.
Yeah, that's because I'm coming to that. That's an interesting thing, I'll come to that. Okay. Digital detox, what was I saying? Screen time. Do you all check your screen time? Are you all aware of how much time you spend on your phone?
yes.
A lot of time?
No, not
2 hours, 3 hours?
More than that.
More than that? Are you reading the news?
No, no. You are talking about after work.
After work?
Ah, okay. 1 hour.
1 hour. Not bad.
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah. TikTok. And it's just, the algos are working so fast, you're just going on and
But I will
on.
tell you one thing. In the TikTok, there are some information which is very helpful on the life also.
I agree.
So that the things which is.
I agree. Which is true. But is this a case like meditation of yours?
No.
Do you actually open TikTok to watch those things which is going to bring in some knowledge?
Yes. Seriously.
Or is it the dance TikToks that you...
No. I don't like that.
No. Okay. So make sure that you give a little break when you're using your phone. Check your screen time often. I'm sure all of you, while I'm speaking, they both are like, what's your screen time? You're checking? Right. We're on Instagram and TikTok all the time, as in after work. You're spending most of your time not with your family, not with your friends, nothing. Most of the times it's TikTok, Instagram. You're on it. You're watching all of those reels. Like he said, yes, there are things that you can learn out of it, but there are also a lot of things that are unnecessary, maybe, I would say. I still like it. Is it already is it already 40 minutes down? Okay. Yeah. So make sure that you take that little bit of digital detox. Deactivate your account temporarily. Just do it for 5 days. I'm not saying do it for like 5 months. Just do it for 5 days. And be mindful. I know it's difficult. I know, I've tried it. But you know what? When you actually do it, you're going to feel a lot better. Those 5 days, you're actually going to be present in the moment. Everything you do, you're going to acknowledge. You're going to be mindful, like I spoke about. Next, virtual wellness communities. These are basically communities online. Now, different ways that you can look at things, right? These are communities online that's actually going to bring you some happiness and wellness, right? They basically gather together. Let's say, have you all heard of Clubhouse? Okay, Clubhouse is an app, okay? So what it does is basically gathers wellness communities. There are different communities. You can join any of them, and this is for free. So there are wellness communities where you can join, and you can start attending. They just talk. It's like podcasts and people talking from around the world of topics that you are interested in, of things that you enjoy doing. Next, journaling and mindfulness app. There are a lot of apps. One of my favorite app is Mindfulness Bell and Chime. I like this because every 1 hour I set it up, and every 1 hour my phone chimes. It feels like a temple bell ringing, but it chimes, and I close my eyes for just 5 seconds to just be present at the moment. Next, self-care subscription boxes. This is something that's available on Amazon as well. So when you put in self-care subscription boxes, you get boxes delivered to your doorstep which has products, let's say bathing products like candles or something that's going to soothe and calm you down. Or there are journals. There are little gratitude notes that is available. So these are different things that is present in that box that you can actually order. Just put it on Google or just check on ChatGPT, which is the best place to look for it, right? So these are a couple of unique ways that you can practice self-care goals. Now I want all of you to take out your phone.
Personal or duty?
It's okay. Whoever has a phone. Okay? Go to the notes section of your phone. Don't have a phone? It's okay, you can go back home and try this out. Okay, if all of you have gone to the notes section of your phone, I want you all to write a love letter to yourself. Write a love letter to yourself.
My God, myself. Let's send it for others.
Also do that. I have a friend who actually writes gratitude notes and like not really love letters, but like letters to make other people happy. Do that too. Write a love letter to yourself. I'm not asking you to write like a super lengthy thing. Just write a little love note of how much you love yourself. What is it that you love about yourself? I'll make a couple of you read them out, okay? So I want you to actually write it. Or you can like take note of it in your head and tell me. Why are you your favorite? What is it about you that you love the most? What are those qualities that you think you have that others don't? And you absolutely love it and acknowledge it. You cannot copy love letters. Take your time. You can think about it in your head. Okay? That's it. A small.
for myself.
Oh, I love that. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to randomly come. Okay, can you tell me what you wrote? Good. That's it. Okay. What did you write? Oh, okay, that's sweet. Okay. What about you? Personal. Even
It's a letter.
What about you? Alright, what about you? You love yourself blind. Love is blind. Even for yourself. Great. What about you? Okay. Okay. Me time. Me time is what we were basically talking about this entire session. Right? Yeah, you were saying. Continue. That's it? Okay. So we all have qualities that we love about ourselves. We all have things that we enjoy. There are things that fulfill us, and it could be different for each one of us. So I hope that today's session is a takeaway for all of you. And when you come back to work tomorrow, you come back fresh, you decide on taking those little breaks, you decide on doing the chicken dance, okay? Monkey dance, whatever dance makes you happy. You decide to set your goals the right way, and I hope that all of you, at least for the sake of it, open a journaling app. If not for anything, buy a new cute book. There are so many cute books available around. Start writing your thoughts. Be mindful of everything that you do. That's it. Thank you so much, guys.